Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about digital IDs. Have you ever heard of an RFID chip? Have you heard about this new idea of a digital identity? And is it just like a picture on your phone, or what exactly are we talking about? And have you seen videos of people in New York and Sweden and the UK using their literal hand, just a swipe of the hand, to pay for groceries? I've seen a few videos like that, and I'll be talking about that today when we discuss digital identities. But first, let me welcome you to the channel, where we do a lot of art, tie-dye, woodworking, wire wrapping, and we also do a lot of Bible study. So if you could make sure you're subscribed, just press that little button. It just takes a second. You can also like the video, put the thumbs up or the thumbs down if you disagree. That's okay too. But also throw in a comment about what you're thinking about. That just kind of helps the algorithm spread the message. So thank you. So today, more and more countries are rolling out the systems that I've been talking about, and that's a system where everything is connected digitally, and that's like your ID, your finances, your medical information, possibly even keys to your car or your home or a pass to work or the gym. All that's been connected already to this. So on the surface, it sounds really convenient and efficient, and it's even promoted as a step towards peace and safety and accountability. I first heard about this idea in 9/11 when they were trying to identify people and if they were alive or dead or whatnot, and they were like, oh, it'd be so easy if there's just a little ID chip in somebody's hand. And I was like, wow, they do that with animals, been doing it for 10, 20 years. Is there anything to be concerned about? And the more I think about it, I think the answer is absolutely yes. Because as RFK said, this is kind of a turnkey system to a totalitarian worldview, and could really open up a lot of control for the governments of the world.
It lays the groundwork for global medical surveillance of every human being.
So I'm not saying it's bad to have a digital ID in and of itself. That's not where I'm coming from, but I think it's more about the direction that we're heading. If all your identification, your work, your home, your gym access, all your payments are tied to one digital system, man, whoever has the power to control that system holds the power to decide who can buy or sell or even participate in society, which reminds me a lot about what the Bible talks about, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But let's talk about what the government is saying that it'll do, like peace and safety and all that, versus what they'll actually do and what's already been happening with some other government stuff around the world. That's Lucy. She thinks she's starving. So let's talk about in China, where the social ID has already kind of been launched, and it's actually tied with like a social credit score, and it's really crazy kind of what China's doing. But basically they're monitoring their people with AI and cameras everywhere. I can show you a little video. But it's really crazy.
Today, in China, there are some 600 million surveillance cameras, one for every 2 citizens, able to track people's movements down to the minute.
Every street corner, there's facial recognition, there's digital recognition, there's the social credit system. The social credit system is the sort of highest aspiration of the Chinese Communist Party, to have everything every human being does go into a computer system. And with AI and all sorts of other sophisticated programming, you can know exactly where a person is because he'll have bought something with a credit card or a digital payment system. His car will have gone down a highway. Every kilometer, there's a camera taking pictures of your license plate. They will know everything about everybody real time.
And then there's what happened with the banks and the government pulling a National Security Emergency Act in 2020, and they actually froze the bank accounts of the truckers during the Freedom Convoy protest in Canada. So this is kind of the stuff the government does. Like, there was no court hearing, there's no convictions, there was just suspicion, and they were shutting down accounts of protesters. They were shutting down GoFundMe accounts. Like, it's crazy. A lot of people, you probably remember it. So yeah, I could see how this digital ID idea could eventually be connected to an implant in the hand, something kind of small, convenient, secure, that stores everything about you so that you never have to lose it, like your wallet and your keys and your ID. So yeah, there's already people implementing the implant in the hand, and it's over in Sweden, and like I was talking about, there's even people over in Brooklyn that are just using their hand. They have a little chip in there. And yeah, I'll show you some more clips of that, because I'm not just the only person talking about this. This is pretty crazy.
I'm at Whole Foods and I'm about to pay for my groceries with my... That's the coolest thing ever.
Brad, you didn't grow up in evangelical ink, so I don't know what this video does to you, but for me, right out the gate, watching somebody appear to scan their hand with a chip in it in order to pay for something, it screams mark of the beast.
Much of what he needs to get through the day is hidden right there, just below the surface, in his hand.
You like to touch it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, weird. Yeah, it's like a grain of rice.
Yeah, a grain of rice.
Embedded in his hand is a microchip that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet.
Yeah, it's all in chip, so I use it like to get around the building.
Buy snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's buy some snacks. Exactly. So I can't open it.
No.
Okay.
So what I need to do is I need to first blip my chip, and it will log me in, and from there I get access to the fridge.
Popular TV shows like Black Mirror have imagined chips as part of a dystopian future.
Install ingrain procedure with local anesthetic and you're good to go.
In Sweden, the microchips are already here.
The microchip implants use the same technology that's in contactless credit cards,
which have made cash pretty much obsolete in Sweden.
No cash.
At this tech fair, a chipping event for those on the cutting edge, merging their hands with this new technology.
I thought it would be fun, right?
The process is simple and swift. A pinch of the skin, and in a matter of seconds, the chip is inserted. The transformation is complete. As for the pain,
I barely felt it.
But even in this nation of early adopters, not everyone is racing to get chipped.
Feel less human. I will feel like a robot.
I think, it's so much more data can go into this, when it's in your body.
There's no central registry tracking how many people are chipped, but biohacker Hannes Wellblood estimates between 5 and 10,000.
In the future, do you think everyone is going to be chipped?
I think it'll be voluntary, but I am certainly convinced that millions of people will find it very, very valuable to have a smart device under their skin.
Human microchipping may be our future, but in Sweden, it's already reality.
And we're sold this lie of public safety, or it's good for society, but all that technology could easily become a perfect tool for total control. So places like China, Sweden, UK, and the US are already starting to connect this digital ID to work and access systems. And that's where we get into the RFID chip. It's a radio frequency ID chip. There's a company in America called Walletmore, and they are offering this. There's even companies that will send it to you through the mail, and you can do an implant yourself, or they will suggest doctors or body piercers that can do the implant pretty easily.
I went online to order an RFID chip from one of the most popular online resellers. They are called Dangerous Things. No red flags whatsoever. And in 2 weeks, they delivered this package. As you open the box, you can tell right away that this is not a toy. They immediately warn you not to meddle with anything to keep it all clean and sterile. But what we do have here is one next implant, one Vivo key implant, 2 injectors, 2 pair of procedure gloves, 4 antiseptic wipes, 2 gauze pads for post-injection care, and bandages. Despite their ominous name, Dangerous Things takes the procedure very seriously, and so should you. This is a small operation. Can you imagine that there is no surgical protocol for the injection of these things? And while technically a piercer could do the job, it's highly recommended to do it with a surgeon. And Dangerous Things does help you with this, as on their website they show you professionally trained partners who are equipped to implant these chips.
This is the closest thing to like the mark of the beast that I feel like we've ever really seen. So when you look at it with all that, kind of realizing that these RFID chips could have incredible capacity and capabilities and be connected with like your medical information, say you need to go to the ER or the doctor, they just scan your wrist real quick and they'll know more about you than if they interview you for a half hour, you know? So I get it, and it makes sense in some ways, but in other ways it's kind of scary. So let's see what the Bible says, and today we're reading the New King James Version. That's a favorite. There are definitely some issues with the King James Version, but we can talk about that in another video. Right now we're gonna go to the book of Revelation and talk about the mark of the beast from a biblical standpoint. And the book of Revelation is the revelation of Jesus Christ that God the Father gave to Jesus the Son to give to John for the end time church. So it's a beautiful book. There's a lot of confusion and mysticism around it, but it's actually really amazing. So let's go into chapter 13, verse 16 through 17. It says, he causes all, both small and great, and this is talking about the Antichrist and the false prophet. It says the Antichrist basically causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or their forehead. So yeah, literally we've already seen these implants being implemented, like the Neuralink is implanted in your head. This RFID chip is planted in your hand, and I could just see how they might commingle the two. And even in London, they're talking about how you can't even work without this, and they're just released it. They're trying to implement that in the next year or so.
Today, I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom.
But it's really crazy to see, and even, I want to say 86 million people over in Vietnam, their bank accounts were closed due to not having this digital ID set up. So I think it's really crazy what the governments of the world are already doing with this. So excuse me, let's go back to verse 17 here. And that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And that's 666. And there's a lot of debate about that, but this is kind of the main idea, or the main verse where we get the idea about the mark of the beast. So all people are going to receive it, and well, I don't know about all. I feel like there's going to be resistors and things like that, because I know I'm not going to get it. Like, Doesn't say, I don't know. I feel like there's a few different schools of thought. Some people say all people are going to get it. We're going to be forced to. Some people say there'll be resistor countries and nations that don't give into this. I kind of feel like there'll be resistor nations and countries. So yeah. Any hoozle, that's what that says. We'll get back to this. So there's a direct picture of economic control tied to a mark enforced by a global system. And this digital ID, like I said, is the closest thing we've seen to what Scripture describes as the mark of the beast. And I'm not saying that this is the mark of the beast. Please don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that this is the mark of the beast. I'm not saying if you have a little chip in your hand that helps you get into work or whatever, that you're going to go to hell or something like that. I want to be very cautious about what I am and am not saying biblically. But I think that this is going to be like the foundation, like RFK was saying, it's a turnkey system to a totalitarian regime. And I'm sure a lot of people would love to see that. Not me, but... So the technology itself is not evil, but we need to be paying attention to what is being built and who will one day control what is being built. So the Bible warns that when people cry peace and safety, suddenly destruction will come upon them. And we're going to go to that verse. It's in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. And that was Paul writing to the church in Thessaloniki. Gotta find it here. Yeah, it was written around 50 AD, which is about 20 years after Jesus died. And another fun fact, Paul the Apostle was not originally part of the 12 apostles. And the book of Thessalonians wasn't written just by Paul, it was written by Paul, Silvanus, and Timothy to the church of Thessalonians. Just a couple quick fun facts, which I like to always throw in there. So chapter 5, verse 3, it reads, "For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them as labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they shall not escape." Goes on to say, "But you, brethren, are not in darkness, so that this day should overtake you as a thief. You are all sons of light and sons of the day, and we are not of the night nor of darkness." And that's just talking about the times and seasons of the day of the Lord returning. And I think we're in the end times. I think we're nearing the day of the Lord's return. I don't know when it could be. I don't think there's just going to be a random rapture soon. I think we've got 20, 30, 40 years ahead of us. And things are going to get crazy. But that's just my thought. So while the world is embracing a distorted peace and safety and what seems helpful, then we realize that we handed over all our freedoms in the process. And digital IDs are becoming more common, and like I said, there's nothing inherently wrong with them. The framework for global control is quietly being built. And this is not about fear, this is about awareness and being cautious. I feel like we're seeing the early setup of the kind of system that the Antichrist could one day step into and rule over. And if nothing else, we're seeing a rise of a system that could be too controlling and too overbearing for the citizens of the world. I mean, look at China, look at Vietnam. It's all pretty crazy. I appreciate you watching. Stay alert, stay grounded in Christ, keep your eyes on Him. Please let me know what you think. Please like and share this if it spoke to you. Doing that kind of helps spread the message. But please comment, let me know what your thoughts, let me know what you've heard, let me know what you think biblically, so we can keep the conversation going. God bless, and may the Lord keep you and bless you, and we'll talk to you next time.